Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Tomorrow, Thursday, September 8th, 2016, the 97th season of NFL football will kick off. The first game of the season is the Carolina Panthers visiting the Denver Broncos, a repeat of Super Bowl 50, where the Denver Broncos defeated the Carolina Panthers. What we're going to talk about in this video is why I expect the Broncos to win tomorrow in their home opener in the very rigged and the very scripted NFL. We're also going to talk about why Trevor Siemian is the new starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos and why he's getting the start tomorrow. It's going to be a big day for him. The spread for tomorrow's game is in favor of Carolina by 3 points. The visiting team who lost in the Super Bowl is expected to win. That's because Denver has a brand new young quarterback drafted in the 7th round of the 2015 NFL Draft. I want you to notice how the over-under, that's another gambling line for bettors. If you bet on the under, it means you think that there will be 41 points or less. If you bet on the over, you think there will be 42 points or more in the game. Anyhow, the over-under is at 41.5. What's significant about 41 is right now the all-time series between these two teams is 4 games for Denver, 1 game for the Panthers. They've only played each other 5 times in the history of their franchises. The Carolina Panthers, a relatively new team. Their game tomorrow will be their 6th meeting all-time, and I'll talk about why that factors in to my thinking of why the Broncos will win. So the date numerology of the game, September 8th, 2016, that's a date with 53 numerology. NFL has a 53-man roster, a significant number to the sport. Trevor Siemian was announced to be the starter August 29th, which was also a date with 53 numerology. I looked at the all-time scoring between these two teams, the 5 games that they've played each other in. The Broncos have scored 124 points. The Panthers have scored 71 points. The Broncos have outscored the Panthers by 53 points. That could be a coincidence. Just wanted to document it. It's also a date with 26 numerology. 26 is the God number in gematria. The practice of coding numbers into words is called gematria. The word God, G-O-D, equals 26. 7 plus 15 plus 4. The English alphabet is 26 letters. 2 languages very relevant to our nation, our culture. 2 languages that are based on numbering systems are Hebrew and Greek. The Old Testament of the Bible was written in Hebrew, a letter and number system, and the New Testament was retranslated for the first time in Greek, which was a 26-letter alphabet, just like ours, and a lettering and numbering system. And the English language is also a lettering and numbering system. It's just a secret kept from we the people. So 26, the God number, there's mathematics behind this number that connect to the shape known as the mandorla, the vesica piscis, that looks like the body of a fish. You see it a lot in Christian and spiritual art. It's the reason that there is the fish shape on the back of so many bumpers that say Jesus inside. The football is also this shape. 26, a very special number to the shape of the football. Go back and watch my older video on the vesica piscis and the mandorla and the football in 26. It's a video in itself. But just know for now, that's a special number to the football. The word mandorla also has gematria of 33. 33, a very spiritual number, very relevant number to the Bible. The first book, Genesis, gematria of 33. With regards to the Broncos in 33, the Broncos are at home hosting this game. It's on a date with 33 numerology. The Broncos also won Super Bowl 33, which we'll talk more about. With regards to 33, it also connects to the name of the stadium where the Broncos play, Sports Authority Field at Mile High. In gematria, that name sums to 156. When you write out 33, it sums to 156. When you write out February 2nd, it sums to 156. And the reason February 2nd matters is because it's the 33rd day of the year. 31 days in January, plus 2 more in February. The phrase as above, so below also sums to 156. That's a motto that is captured in the symbol that we know as the Star of David, the Zionist flag, the 2 3-sided triangles, 2 3-sided figures, 3 and 3, 33. This is the date that the Broncos won Super Bowl 33, January 31st, 1999. That was a date with 33 numerology. It was also a date with 131 numerology. And think about how the date January 31st looks something like 131. If you write out Super Bowl, it equals 131. If you write out championship, it equals 131. If you write out 57, it equals 131. World Series equals 57. This is another number very relevant to championships. Last year, ESPN had up this story on their page for a lot of the football season. 57 high school kids named after Peyton Manning in Indiana, where the Colts are, where Manning started his career. John Elway, drafted by the Colts, traded to the Broncos. John Elway drafted number 1 overall out of Stanford. Then what happened? Years later, Andrew Luck drafted number 1 overall out of Stanford by the Colts, which sent Peyton Manning to the Broncos. Anyhow, 57 kids, a minute 31. ESPN had up this video all last season. 57, 131. Those are the numbers. The number 131 is also the 32nd prime number. NFL equals 32. America equals 32. It calls itself America's game. 32 teams in the NFL. 7-4-1776. Date numerology of 32. Special number to this nation. Special number to this sport. An American sport. So the Broncos, they're 56 years old this year, but they're in their 57th season. Think about that. Defending Super Bowl champions in their 57th season. Doesn't it fit so nicely? They've been in 8 Super Bowls. They've won 3 of 8. Last year, they won the Super Bowl on the 38th day of the year, February 7th. Colorado's the 38th state in order of statehood, plus Colorado in gematria equals 38. Couldn't be any more perfect. Almost makes me wonder if the Denver Broncos are finished in Super Bowls. Carolina Panthers, they're now 0-2 in Super Bowls. They've lost to Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and the Broncos. Tom Brady born on 8/3, August 3rd. Peyton Manning born on the 83rd day of the year. Football equals 83. Colorado, the big way, also sums to 83. So here's their games all time, the Broncos and the Panthers. I was pointing this out last year when I was saying the Broncos were going to win the Super Bowl. They were going to defeat the Panthers. I pointed this out, how the last time they'd played in history before last year's Super Bowl was November 11th, 2012, and the score was 36-14, a sum of 50 points. And then, of course, they meet in Super Bowl 50. And notice that date, 11-11. 11 times 11 is 121. Last year's Super Bowl 50, was played on the 121st meridian. 121 days after the Super Bowl, the Broncos went to the White House. It was the golden anniversary of the Super Bowl last year, right? Hosted by the 49ers, named after the Gold Rush. The abbreviation for gold on the periodic table is AU. AU. A's the first letter, U's the 21st. 1-2-1, a lot like 121. Super Bowl on the 121st meridian, the golden anniversary, and then going to the White House 121 days later. By the way, they went to the White House on June 6th, and that's a lot like the number 66. Revelation's the 66th book of the Bible. Revelation equals 121 the big way, 49 the small way, hosted by the 49ers. Think about the white horse symbolism in Revelation, the book of prophecy. If you've never read the Bible, look up the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So they're 4-1 all time, the Broncos against the Panthers. Again, they got their 4th win, making it 4-1 in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl equals 41. If they win tomorrow night, they'll be 5-1 all time. And think about how this season ends with Super Bowl 51. Houston Texans equals 51. Conspiracy equals 51. The Houston Texans hosting. Brock Osweiler, who was the 57th overall pick of the year he was drafted, sent to the Texans this year, where Gary Kubiak came from, the former coach of the Texans, now the coach of the Broncos. And think about that also, Truth Seeker. Look at this. Last year was Super Bowl 50, right? Super Bowl 50, it was the 46th Super Bowl of the modern era. Levi's Stadium equals 46, where it was hosted. Chicago equals 46. Chicago's the birthplace of the NFL. Chicago hasn't won a Super Bowl since '85. 85. National Football League equals 85. They won that Super Bowl 46-10 over the Patriots with the revolutionary 4-6 defense. 4-6 defense, 46-10, Chicago, birthplace of football. The coach of the Chicago Bears right now is John Fox, who was formerly the coach of the Denver Broncos, and before that, the Carolina Panthers. The two coaches who replaced him, Ron Rivera of the Panthers and Gary Kubiak of the Broncos, are who met in the Super Bowl. And after the Super Bowl, Obama compared the Broncos to the 85 Bears. It's because it's all scripted. These were all things I was talking about before the game was even played. So last year, Super Bowl 50, just as a reminder, San Francisco equals 50, 24 equals 50. The Broncos won with 24 points. The Broncos and Elway were both 55 years old last year. In Super Bowl 24, John Elway and the Broncos lost to the 49ers 55-10. And I was telling all this stuff last year before the games were even played. I said, this is all the foreshadowing that the Broncos will win the Super Bowl this year. I wish I had predicted that they'd win with 24 points. I feel like I should have got that in hindsight. But you know what they say about hindsight, always 20/20. Houston Texans again hosting Super Bowl 51 this year. It'll be the 47th Super Bowl of the modern era. We'll talk more about that. Here's Brock Osweiler. Got sent to the Texans this year. Last year I predicted that he would get the win over the Patriots when they were undefeated by the numbers. A lot of people thought that was a crazy pick. Turned out to be dead on the money. Some headlines this week about Ron Rivera. By the way, Ron Rivera was a linebacker on the 85 Bears that went 15-1 and won the Super Bowl that year. Last year he was coaching the Panthers that went 15-1. Anyway, Ron Rivera says he's not happy about this game, the rematch, because he thought that for winning the Super Bowl, their first game, they should get some respect. It should be in Carolina so they can celebrate with the fans. Maybe the real reason he's not happy is because he has to start the season with a loss, if that's really how it's scripted. And we're getting to further why I think that is. But don't be deceived. All these people know the games are rigged. Ron Rivera, he's been in the league. The league's always been rigged. That's why they maintain players that become coaches, that become commentators. They just need the whole gang that's in on the rigging, in on the duping. People who love money, who don't care about truth, who don't care about other people, selfish people in pro sports and in a lot of other places. So what else I notice about Ron Rivera is his current coaching record is 47 wins, special number, the first Super Bowl in the 47th season of the league. He went into the Super Bowl last year with 47 career wins, and he finished right there. He didn't win. What I notice is he also is sitting at 32 losses. If he loses tomorrow, it'll be his 33rd loss on the date with 33 numerology to the Broncos that won Super Bowl 33, that play in the stadium with the 33 connection. Something else, from tomorrow's game until his upcoming birthday will be 121 days. He'll be turning 55 years old in 121 days. It could be a coincidence. I just wanted to document it in light of the significance of that number in the Super Bowl last year, which he coached in. As for Gary Kubiak, he's currently 55 years old. He just turned 55 this offseason. He is playing for his 74th win. If he wins tomorrow, it will be his 74th win. Masonic equals 74. It's Freemasonry that runs the NFL. Special number. He's currently sitting at 68 losses. Denver equals 68. Went into the Super Bowl with 68 losses, and he maintained it right there. That said, all of these stats, they're not for just his Broncos career. He coached the Houston Texans from 2006 through the 2013 season before taking a year off and then coming to the Broncos. So he'll be playing for his 74th win, and I suspect that he gets it. From his birthday, his 55th birthday, to tomorrow is 24 days. Just beat the Panthers last year, 24-10. It's also 3 weeks and 3 days, a bit like 33. Now here's what really clinches it for me, thinking that the Broncos will win tomorrow. It's this new young quarterback, the 7th round pick. Show you what's up with this guy. He was named the starter August 29th, 2016, a span of 11 days before the start of the season. Football, a game of 11 on 11, 11 times 11, 121. Some more significance to that number. The day he was announced as the starter was a date with 53 numerology. Again, the football number. The season begins on a date with 53 numerology. It's also a date with a life lesson number of 46. I'm just thinking about how the Broncos came off winning the 46th Super Bowl of the modern era. That's because the first 4 Super Bowls, the AFL and NFL, hadn't merged yet. Ever since then, it's been the modern era. Super Bowl V was the first of the modern era. So check this out. The full name of the young quarterback who's going to wear number 13 this year, special number. His full name is Trevor John Siemian. Trevor John Siemian equals 89, and he's getting his first NFL start on what day? September 8th, a date that in most parts of the world is written 8/9. His first name, Trevor, in simple English gematria also sums to 98, the way we write September 8th in the U.S., 9/8. So this date syncing up nicely with his name. Very big day for this young man. And I suspect he starts his career off with a win. We'll see what happens after that. Remember, the NFL is scripted. Just because you win on the first day doesn't mean, it's going to be fruitful for the rest of the season. Think about Marcus Mariota, how he lit it up last year in week 1, and then I think he had less touchdowns the rest of the season than he had in week 1. It's because it's all a script. So this young man born December 26th, on the 26th, we talked about that number, plus 1226 equals 38. Again, Colorado, the 38th state. Won the Super Bowl last year on the 38th day of the year. They've won 3 out of 8 Super Bowls overall. Colorado 38. Panthers equals 38. And one last point about this man. He's 25 years old. He was the 250th pick of the 2015 draft. 250, something like 25. This is the 97th season of the NFL. 97 is the 25th prime. I think it would be fitting for this 25-year-old to start the season with a win as the defending Super Bowl champs. Might be the highlight of the Broncos season. So there it is, Truth Seeker. I expect the Broncos to beat the spread. As always, this work, it's not an exact science. That's my warning. I do my best to make the picks by the numbers. I think if you look at my lifetime record, it's very good. But I'm not always right. So if I am wrong, you don't need to come here and go, oh, blah, 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 blah. If I'm wrong, I'll remind you what you can do. You can go back and look at all the 1,000+ videos I have and see how many times I've been right. I don't gloat when I'm right, and I don't get down when I'm wrong. All right, Truth Seeker. Until next